He crashed the stock market on purpose, but not for the reason his followers think. The last time we had tariffs this large was in 1929, right before the Great Depression. But you know who didn't lose everything during the Great Depression? The 1%. And it just so happens during our last recession in 2008, when everyone was losing their homes to foreclosure. BlackRock, one of the largest investment companies globally, made billions of dollars from buying up all the homes. That's why we've seen homes now at a 200% increase in what they were 10 years ago. So when the stock prices are low, billionaires can buy them all up. So when the stock market booms again, they double their net worth. But you know who did lose everything through this pointless, relentless, evil trade war? Was small businesses and the lower middle class. I have seen today on hand 10 videos on my For You page of people saying that they're shutting down their businesses because they can't afford the tariffs. But for all of the America First people, pay attention who he really puts first.
Hello guys, welcome back to Inside Republic. On today's video, we'll be talking about the stock markets. Well, the stock markets just tanked, wiping out billions in hours. Well, like this video, share, subscribe and follow for more videos like this. And to show us some extra love, you can send us some super thanks. We'll truly appreciate that. Now let's watch the following video clips.
I told you guys about Webull on Friday after hours when it was $26, and now today it's up an additional 300%, just shy of $53. And now, in my opinion, this is officially a FOMO stock. That means a lot of investors are jumping in because they have fear of missing out. I suspect the stock will jump an additional $10 to $20, but will crater just as quickly. So do your own due diligence, be careful. If you do invest, invest quickly, and be sure to take profit and sell before it craters.
Hilarious. Some people made fun of me for sitting on cash and only getting a 5% return about a month ago. Now, markets are down 10% since then. And the guys that like to shit on the index fund return, well, they probably trade tech stocks. And something like Tesla, down about 40%. Nvidia, down about 30%. Now, tech stocks are something I would entertain getting into. And if I'm getting into anything in the market these days with this kind of volatility, it's going to be through options. So my downside is protected. Now, I'm a real estate guy. So my highest recommendation for anyone getting into real estate would be to get pre-approved for a mortgage now. You want to make sure your financing is ready to go and secured when a deal comes up. You don't want to do the opposite. If you wait for a deal to come up and then try to secure your financing, you might be left sitting on your hands and you're just running around bouncing mortgage broker to mortgage broker, and they're telling you they can't get you the financing when you could find it.
If you missed the stock market move today, either you were too scared to get in listening to other people or you're uninformed. You had people who took $20 to $5,900 today within about 15 to 20 minutes based off the move. And when I was telling people to buy a few days ago because some stock prices were back to the lows that we saw around COVID times, people were like, oh no, it's not time to buy yet. Wait, it's gonna drop more. Wait, it's gonna drop more. And sure enough, look what happened. We get a 9% move up on S&P 500. You get an 11% move on QQQ, 18% on NVIDIA, 18% AVGO, 18% Kava, and 20-something% on AMD, which I told people to buy a few days ago. And see, when you listen to people who just say, oh, just wait to buy, it's gonna drop lower, but they're not telling you why, that's a problem. Because when you chart your stocks every day like me, you know that when stocks get to a certain price point and they fall to a certain point, eventually some support's gonna form and it's gonna go back up. Now, the tariff announcement definitely helped, but the 10-year yield spiking like that also causes pressure for him to be like, all right, like maybe these tariffs are doing a little too much and let me try to do something soon to make sure that that yield doesn't keep spiking, because that's an issue. So stop listening to people when stuff goes down. They say, oh yeah, no, wait, it's gonna go lower, it's gonna go lower. But no one's telling you why. No one's saying anything why. Oh yeah, it's gonna go lower, wait till they're worthless. Why is that? I was asking people that in the comments, no one could tell me. And now, if you didn't get in, you missed on stupid returns because you're waiting for stuff to fall lower when it's already fallen so much from these tariff news.
If you were thinking of buying stocks right now because of this major sell-off, I want you to stop and listen to this video, then decide for yourself if that sounds like it's the right thing to do. We had our market futures open a few hours ago, and the S&P 500 futures are trading off 5%. The Dow Jones Industrial is trading off 1,500 points. Again, those are the futures. To put that into perspective, when the market was open on Friday, the Dow saw a loss of 2,200 points. So this is a severe signal to everyone that this sell-off is not over yet. Additionally, the Nikkei, which is the Japanese stock market, is trading off 12% right now. I saw a lot of people commenting on this on Twitter. They were saying things along the lines of, see, this is what happens when you mess with Trump. People are going to figure out real soon that he's serious. And I wanted to be clear that the Nikkei sell-off has nothing to do with Trump's imposition of tariffs on Japan. The Nikkei is selling off because they are vastly concerned about a stock market collapse in the US and a contraction in our economy, because a lot of their economy is, basically fueled by US liquidity, or is at least dependent somewhat on US liquidity. So because of that fear, they're getting their money out of the market as well. This is a significant problem, and it should be viewed as a bellwether for what's going to happen to us tomorrow. I'm wagering that we most likely will see a massive sell-off tomorrow. If we do not, this is going to be a fake movement to the upside, right? Additionally, a lot of hedge funds have been selling puts, and they're going to have to end up buying those shares in order to sell them at the price listed out in the options contract. That will cause false movement to the upside. Please do not get trapped in that, because there is a major, major concern right now that we're going to start developing bull traps here. If you're concerned what bottoms look like in the market, you're going to look for continued movement to the downside on contracting volume. That means the sellers are kind of gone and there's not much more to sell. However, every time you get an updraft after that, you're going to create the conditions for more sellers to move this market even lower. This is a serious problem that we might be running into here, and the conditions for the economy and the stock market are not going to get better until it's clear what the impacts of the tariffs are, and if we can refinance at lower rates in June.
Look at this. I took this picture about 10 minutes ago. The 10-year Treasury note is at 4.5%, and it's climbing. Yeah, as you can see here, it's going up. And that is really, really bad news, because as this heads towards 5%, 5% would be a complete disaster. Yeah, and that's only happening for one reason. It's happening because people are losing faith in the United States. They're losing faith in us. So that's why Treasury yields are going up. They're going up because countries are going, I don't think I'm going to keep loaning money to America. I think I'm going to pass. And if that keeps happening, within a month or two, the United States is bankrupt. I want you to understand right now, right here, just how dire it really is. Because around the world, they do not believe in this administration. They don't believe anything this administration has to say. And now the full faith and credit of the United States is under suspicion. And that is a massive problem that I can't even begin to tell you how dangerous that is. And now the Republicans are pushing a budget bill that throws $5 trillion on top of what we owe already. It is a recipe for complete and total disaster. And no one is saying, wait a minute, you are literally leading us into a disaster. Yeah, but I'm here to tell you, this is a nightmare, and it's all coming true right in front of our face. Like and follow for more. The next 2 months are going to be possibly catastrophic.
While the average investor panics over the latest stock market crash, a different story is playing out behind the scenes, one fueled by Trump's tariffs and sweeping executive orders. These bold moves have shaken global trade dynamics, triggering sharp volatility that punishes some industries while catapulting others to record highs. Amid the chaos, savvy insiders and seasoned billionaires are cashing in, exploiting market swings to grow their fortunes. It's not just a crash, it's a wealth transfer in real time, and the winners aren't who you think.
The stock market right now is insane, because why I just made over 30K. I'm driving. I literally just parked. I just went to Red Robin, had a milkshake, but What? And then I took another trade and made 9. Now, granted, this was not like because of like some crazy strategy or anything. Like, this was literally just Trump paused the tariffs, the market shot up. But when I tell y'all, in my 4 years of trading, I've never seen volatility like this. Like, I'm on my way. I'm about to get my lashes done and go get my eyebrows done because I look like who did it and why. Never in my 4 years of trading have I been able to make this much money. This is crazy. Now, keep in mind, as fast as I made this money, it could have been the opposite direction. So don't take this as I'm going to go put my house into a trade tomorrow. But wow. I remember like looking at charts during COVID and I was like, man, I wish I got into stocks during COVID. I feel like now is the same time. If you guys watched that video that I had made a couple of days ago, I said to get some VOO, some NVIDIA shares. And if you had got some NVIDIA shares under 100, you're doing good right now. If you got them VOO shares when I said, you're doing good right now. Don't wait until the last minute to start investing or learning.
I'm predicting 40,000 business bankruptcies by the 4th of July. So 2 months now I've been telling you why the U.S. economy is cooked, and there's lots of reasons for it. It's not just the tariffs. The tariffs, of course, are the largest nail in the coffin. But we've known, economists and historians have known for the longest time that if you make drastic changes in your economy and introduce something like tariffs across the board, particularly against your largest trading partners, Canada, China, and Mexico, that it's going to have drastic consequences. And the drastic consequences are going to be to make costs for all of those businesses that are trying to function in the U.S. right now go up dramatically. Now, think of the small business in the U.S. that's an importer and a reseller of something that comes from China. They're importing something that's not made in the U.S. They might be importing just a part of something that they put together, that they manufacture. And, part of the product is made in the U.S., is made in China, rather. And now they're looking at it and they're saying, well, I'm a small business. I employ 4 people. I've got a shipping container full of this stuff. The tariffs on it are in excess of 104%. I can't afford to pay it. I can't continue to run my business. My clients are not going to pay it. I can up my price on my website. I can let my clients know, my customers know that this is what the price is now, but I know they're not going to pay it. And so what happens? What happens at that point? Well, this is April now, but May comes along and you're in a similar situation. You didn't get those products. The U.S. government seized them, and now it's going to end up going to auction in 6 months or something like that. You don't order anymore. If you're going to order something, you just stop ordering it. Yeah, it hurts the business in China, but they've got clients all around the world, so it's they will continue to survive. But you, as an American business, are in a situation where you've got debts, you've got money that you've got to pay each month, and you can't make those payments. You borrowed money to get your business running. You borrowed money to keep your business running. You've got a line of credit and things like that. So this is April now. By May, June, we're going to start to see a lot of businesses filing for bankruptcy, and then we'll see personal bankruptcies too. But think of all the people who are going to get laid off in all of those different businesses. And it's a cascading effect, right? Because you've got somebody laid off at a business, 3-5 people laid off at a business. Those people, can't make their payment on their house now. Maybe their spouse is in a similar situation. They get laid off. They can't afford to spend. They're not going out to the restaurant. The restaurant lays off the server after a little while. The restaurant's not making enough money, so they end up shuttering as well because, of course, their costs have gone up and nobody can afford it because the wages haven't gone up. Wages, always trail inflation when you've got hyperinflation, which is what we're facing with this massive tax increase on the Americans as a result of the tariffs. Excuse me. When you've got that, people just can't afford to buy things. The money loses value and wages don't keep up with it. Hyperinflation, wages do not keep up with it. Wages have not kept up with inflation with our high inflation that we've had since the beginning of COVID. So as a consequence, you're thinking of those businesses. And what are they importing, right? They're importing things that they need. Maybe they put things together. When it arrives, you need one component or 2 components that you can't get from anywhere else. They're made in China. It's an electronic part or it's some piece of plastic that only is made in China. And you can't, you can let your clients, your customers know that you're going to pay more, but your customers are going to be looking at it and they're going to say, well, we're not going to do it. And here's a good example. Microsoft has canceled a $1 billion project in Ohio that they intended to do when when Biden was president. It's 3 data centers, and they just announced that they're not going to do it. And why are they not going to do it? Well, you can think of reasons, right? When it comes to data, it crosses the border. It's cloud storage is basically what they were building. Why would you need to build it in Ohio? Well, there were incentives, A, but B, you could get all the stuff. You could buy all the stuff to import it there, to build it. What does it take to build those data centers? It takes building supplies from Mexico and Canada and China. It takes electronics manufactured in China. All of those things have gone up such that a $1 billion project would probably be a $3 billion project. And you can do that same project in Canada for the same price you were going to do it before. If you really felt that was something that you needed to do, you could build it in Australia. You can build it in Mexico. You can build it anywhere. Probably smarter to build it somewhere where you don't have to air condition quite so much. So Manitoba might benefit from Microsoft, from Ohio's lost Microsoft moving, because we're not going to have those tariffs. But the point is that, this is just one thing, right? That's just one thing. But there are thousands and thousands of businesses in the U.S., and everybody's going to be facing the same situation because it's going to unfold through the economy. You're a business and you hire somebody, local who does your website, and, your business shuts down. That's one client that's gone for that company that makes the website or does the marketing. The local restaurants around those businesses that are there, they end up shutting down too, because they're missing just enough customers that, their margins were already tight. And food prices are going to go up, and costs of everything else going up is going to lead to this cascading effect. Now, even if Trump was to cancel all the tariffs right now, we would still end up in a significant recession because of all of the other things that I've laid out in those previous videos. But the tariffs are the gigantic nail in the coffin for the U.S. economy, and it's going to put the entire global economy into a period of recession. All of those retirees who are counting on their 401ks, thinking, okay, well, a stable economy, there's always ups and downs, and there's, we have sometimes anomalies and sometimes stupid things like the subprime mortgage crisis. But still long-term, looking pretty good. Not any longer, right? You've already lost a quarter of your wealth. If you had $4 million in the bank because you were invested in the stock market because you were relatively affluent, now you're down to $3.5 million, and it's probably going to end up being $2 million by the time you're done, maybe less. And if that's all you've got, well, when prices double, that's not going to necessarily get you through. And get you through from age 60 when you've, luckily done very well for yourself. Normally that would have been great, but when prices double on everything, and they're going to double, prices are going to double on things in the U.S. When prices double on things, and there's no workaround, and I mean there's no way to get around it, and there's also no work for people. They're all being laid off. That puts you in a very perilous position. Now, that is the lucky few who had some money invested. Think of all the other people who are on fixed incomes or struggling, working, just trying to scrape by. We're going to see hundreds of thousands of personal bankruptcies. But as I say, I think we will see, from the start of the year to the 4th of July to Independence Day, there will be 40,000 people, 40,000 businesses that are independent of operating because they've gone bankrupt. And give it 2 more months after that, by the end of summer, probably 100,000 businesses. So all of those Republicans, MAGA people who wanted this, I'm always shocked that this is what you wanted. You thought this was going to be good for the U.S. economy. Incremental change is the way to go. Being a jerk is never the way to go in politics, and alienating your best customers and best suppliers with respect to countries like Canada and Mexico is not a healthy thing for your economy. And working together with the rest of the world is the most advantageous thing. One final comment. Trump, over the course of his career, used his method that was outlined in the book that was ghostwritten for him, and that was fine. If you were ordering concrete from a single supplier, you could grind them down, you could be mean to them, they wanted your business, they didn't know what the other guy was doing. But that's one shot, right? That's one company delivering concrete. It's not a regular customer, a regular supplier. Same with, purchasing real estate. That's a sort of a one shot. You're never going to deal with that person again, probably, and you don't have to establish a good relationship with them. That's completely different when it comes to international trade. When it comes to international trade, it relies on trust and assurance and the confidence that you're going to have stability in the market and prices. In other words, when you order something from China, you hope that when it comes, you can still sell it and that you can still afford to pay for it. All of that is gone. That market confidence is gone, and the U.S. economy is cooked.
That's it for today. Do let me know in the comment section down below what you think about the stock market crashing. Until next time, take care.